very first live episode of Conversations with Geoff 2023, baby. And hey, we have a treat in store for you, so don't go anywhere. Those of you that know what I want you to do, I want you to sit down, turn off the TV, grab a notebook, pen, and paper so you can take notes or use your phone if that's what you do. And let us know where you're coming from. Let us know what kind of feedback that you can tell us about that we can do for you. And most importantly, let me see, we have a moment, we're trying to air. So anyhow, I'm not sure if we're having some technical difficulties or not. Let me see. I don't think so. So I'm going to keep going. And hopefully this is live, right? Excuse me. And yes, I do have a little frog in my voice. I'm overcoming or coming over, or getting over something that's really kind of in the household right now. So everything's okay. But anyway, back to what we're here for today, right? Again, Conversations with Geoff, first live session. And man, ooh-wee. I want to thank everybody that's been supporting us so far this year and last year. And all you new members, welcome to the family, welcome to the community. Just the things that we ask you to do is let us know where you're from, how we can help you, drop some love in the chat. And this is a conversation, right? A virtual conversation that we really enjoy having. And for those of you that don't know me, as a real estate investor, I am that person still. I'm known as the king of rehabs. Again, my name is Geoff Tyson. And what we've done recently in that business is generated millions of dollars a year in revenues through training and education, and also, more importantly, the actual rehabs themselves. So now what we're up to is this platform and sharing this message and bringing powerful speakers in here that really focus in three areas, right? Relationships, health, and wealth. And man, so if you have some thoughts or some ideas or speakers you want to bring to the platform in those spaces, please drop it in the chat and let us know. All right, because we're here to serve, and we believe that there is no better time than now for us to bring these people on and help change some of the things going on in our communication with ourselves, about ourselves. So I just have, as always, I made a couple of notes I'm going to look down so we don't get lost here. I want to bring the speaker up as quickly as possible. But I want you to think about something. What would you be willing to do if what I'm saying works in your life? In other words, if we're saying changing the conversations with yourself about yourself, which is our mission, can then happily change the direction of your life. In other words, if you're having a struggle and life's not where you want it to be, if you do a few things, begin to do a few things, potential of your life can change, right? So what are those few things? One is this. It's really simple. Begin to pay attention to what it is that you're saying about yourself to yourself all day long. That conversation is relentless. I mean, it never stops, right? So become aware of, and then number two, excuse me, try something different. So you're aware. Let me give you an example. Okay. Oh man, I'm so stressed out. I can't take another step. How do you think you're going to feel? What do you think you're giving yourself a message of? How about stress? Get out of my way, baby. I'm built to smash stress. I enjoy stress. Stress is something that helps me become better at what I do. I mean, you can go on and on about that, right? But other people say, "Oh, I'm so tired." I mean, that's a conversation that goes on and on and on. What do we say? Fill in the blank. Well, I don't have what it takes, or I'm too old. You're never too old, and yes, you do have what it takes. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm trying to give you an example of something that we all have the possession of, the power of. And we can do it right now, today. So anyway, that's your homework to begin with. Start thinking about that, becoming aware of it. Try something different, and give yourself some grace when it doesn't work out. Because it's right? And it's not going to be perfect right away. And we're not made to be perfect. We're made to be persistent and continue on, right? So anyway, oh man, let me get to my notes here and talk about our upcoming guests. And this lady, boy, met her through a group that we meet on. And I mean, she's just a kindred spirit, a kind soul. I mean, just super knowledgeable. And her company I'm looking at the bio. They provide software training, consulting, and programming for business for over 30 years. All programs in virtual basics and PHP and certified funnel builder. And here's the hit. Janet was one of the first 10 certified WordPerfect instructors in the country. Look up WordPerfect, and then you'll understand why we're excited. I mean, that's an honor. 10 out of the whole country. All right. So, but when you see her, you're like, I mean, he was there, man. She's just a super nice lady. And so and they provide software training. I talked about that stuff. Her goal is and purpose is to educate. Listen to this. Her goal and purpose with her company is to educate and empower people to use software tools to simplify their jobs and tasks in life. Her specialty is working with departments, with organizations to help them become efficient. I like this, productive in less time than they are currently spending. I mean, she's a wife, she's a friend. Man, ladies and gentlemen, let me just stop flapping my trap and introduce to you my friend, Janet Lienhard, coming in here. Let me get her here. Let me get her. Yeah. Hey, Janet.
Hey, Geoff. Thanks for that nice introduction.
Hey, thank you for giving us the information. It's all about you. So you make it easy. Your experiences in your life make it easy, Janet. So thank you again for being here today. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, hey, I know you're busy, so let's kind of get right to it. We had a couple conversations prior to the show, and it's Valentine's Day, so hey.
That's right. Yeah. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day to you as well, Janet. So, but anyway, I'm that person that, I have such an admiration for folks that have technical expertise and things like that. What is it that led you to this industry? And I mean, back in winning that accomplishment, being recognized, that what was life like? Were you doing that before then, or what led you to where you are now?
Well, I never thought I would work in computers. So when I went to college, the first thing I thought I was going to be was a forest ranger. That's what I wanted to be. Wow. And then I thought, well, maybe I'll go into deaf education. So I got involved with that. And then I really started thinking, I don't really know what I want to do. And my mom kept saying, why don't you look into computers? I'm like, no, I won't do computers. That's boring. So she finally, since I didn't know what I wanted to do, she talked me into going to a secretarial school. And I got my first business job with an attorney, a sole practitioner. And he got one of the very first PCs out on the market. So I'm going to date myself. That was 1981. I know, get my cane out. Yeah. But that is what got me going, because what surprised me was that, I started using it, basically word processing. And I remember learning Lotus. We went in on a Saturday and I thought, this must be what Martian is like. It was like, what is this stuff? Yeah. But as I started figuring it out with the attorney, and his practice grew, and I started teaching other people, I kind of found that this was really fun. Yeah. But I was also intrigued when the tech would come in and open up the box, and I'd see all these little wires and things, and I'd be like, how does that thing do what? So that was kind of fun. Yeah.
So I'm still like struggling with Forest Ranger. Did you was it Smokey the Bear that got you excited in that? What?
Oh, I love camping. We used to always camp when I was younger, and I just thought that would be a fun job. Then I just thought, oh, this isn't quite right for me, and I was trying to figure out. I stumbled into this job, and I love it. And so, wow. God moves you in mysterious ways, and that's how I never would have thought I would be doing what I do. Yeah.
Wow. And you love it too. And you say stumble, but I want to say you were destined for this.
I think so.
Working with you in the sessions that we've had, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna tell you, she's amazing. Just because of how much she knows. But when I talk to her, I'll just talk about me because I'm the one, I'm learning my way around technology, but in a space with you, and then you be able to just tell me some simple things that I can understand and do right away. That's amazing. And that's part of, I believe, your natural gift, and that's why you're in this space.
Yeah, our goal, and it always has been to help people to stop spending hours on things that should only take a few minutes.
Yeah.
So just makes me so happy when somebody can say, "You mean I don't have to spend a half hour, an hour on this? All I have to do is this." It's like, yeah. So want to free people up so they can have fun doing other things, but use the tools to your advantage, So
and what are some ways? And I know this is a broad question, but for those people in business, what have you found are some of the things that they don't understand or don't appreciate about something? What is something that
well, there's I do a lot of work in the Microsoft world, so most of the businesses that I work with are in Microsoft. But I have an upcoming PowerPoint class for a company that I've done a lot of training for. And for PowerPoint, for example, people get real confused. They just don't know some little basic tricks to make their life easier.
Yeah.
And so it's just knowing those tiny little tricks. Like in PowerPoint, if you put a text box there and you click your cursor and it's inside the text box, you have to select the text to change it. But if you click on the outside, it does it for everything. Those are two little time saver things that when you're in a hurry, you speed things up. Same thing. So those are the sorts of things with Excel, Word, those sorts of things. I like to tell people that, if you do it the way you were doing it and it's 5 to 5 on a Friday, you're probably going to get out about 7 o'clock, right? But if you just know a few of these little shortcuts, you're out before 5.
And everybody wants to get out of work on Friday if they're in the office.
Exactly.
Nobody wants to work longer than they have to on a Friday.
Yeah. So like knowing keyboard shortcuts, and just, and you can go on, there's YouTube, there's tons of little shortcut videos. Some are better than others. So find one that is somebody that resonates with you. But just the little keyboard shortcuts alone, if you're an Excel user, can save so much time. So if you have a big block of data, here's a little tip. Big block of data. If you're a Mac person, you want to move to the bottom of the block of data, you hold down the Command key and tap the down arrow key, up arrow key, left arrow key, or right arrow key. If you're a PC person, you do a Control with that. Yeah. And if you want to select, just hold down the Shift key along with it. Those little tricks work in just about any program. Very, very similar. There's a lot of little tricks. So
wow. And those, haven't you done over the years some little short training videos around that?
Yes.
These types of things too. Yes.
Yeah, I used to do every Monday for a year and a half. I was doing a 15-minute live where I just talk about some little software tip or tool that I found or something like that. Then I kind of stopped for a little while. But next month, I am going to start dropping those videos again. Yeah. And so the first Tuesday of every month will be a little training video, something about Excel. And if you're a Google Sheets person, you can usually do, basically the same thing. Then the second Tuesday will be something about Word. Third will be something about PowerPoint and Canva, because Canva is a big one. And the fourth one will be about Teams and Zoom. So just little things to help people use those tools, faster and more efficiently, so they can move on to more fun things.
Yeah. And so what makes you, busy as you are, what led you, is it about your personality, I should say, that led you to spend time giving away free stuff like that on a regular basis? What is it?
Well, I like to help people, but I also believe in paying it forward, because there have been so many times, like I'm a self-taught Visual Basic programmer. I'm self-taught PHP programmer. So when I had projects where I had to figure out how to do this, there were people that helped me. And boy, was I appreciative of that, because it's like that little nugget you gave me made it so I could actually figure out what I needed to do. So I love to pay it forward to people, because sometimes I'll give them that little nugget that will just make their life so much easier.
Yeah. Well, that's how it's been with me. You know, my
Uh-huh.
conversations and chats, just understanding the flow of things and being comfortable. You make me more comfortable. You know, and I think that's
Aw,
important.
thank you.
And you do it in a way that's just genuine. So kudos to who you serve
Thank
and how
you.
you do it. Right?
Yeah, I kind of surprise people sometimes, because I can get very, very, very techie.
Yeah.
But and I love it when I get to be really techie. So I have a group, they call them my people, where I can get all real techie. But the other thing is, if you want to help people and they're not living in that real, the techie world, you need to be able to explain things so people can understand them.
Yes.
So that is something that I think is a gift I have, is taking the technical material and make it easy and fun. And we always try to make any type of training that we do, whether it's live training or videos, we want to make it fun.
Yeah. And you do, and I think your personality kind of just lends itself to that, Janet, and do that. So what as we move through this conversation, I really appreciate you too. What is it that we always on our show always like to kind of reach back and ask our guests to kind of share or enlighten the audience on some things that maybe we don't want to talk about, or I think we mentioned before about early on in I remember talking to you and thinking to myself, and I think I said it out loud. I said, "You are amazing. You have so much information."
You're sweet.
But then I think you mentioned to me, I didn't always feel like that about myself. Just a little, didn't, and there's people out there that are like you that, possess brilliance in their space, and I call yours brilliant. What can you say about your journey in that space?
Well, I think, and we Geoff and I belong to a group, and then I belong to a couple of other groups where we are entrepreneurs. And I think it's how you deal with what some people might think is a failure. I think that if I don't look at it as a failure, I look at it as like, didn't quite work out the way I wanted. Like something I was doing this morning, and I had to make a quick pivot. So rather than I just and if I do go down a path and it's not really working out the way I think it should, then I can pause, take a look, and then figure out a way to make it work, maybe go a different direction. So I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm getting, better. So sometimes when I was, especially when I was learning how to program, oh my goodness, there are times I'm like, I know I should be able to figure this out. That's not working. The other thing is get up and walk around. Get away.
Get away from it for a while. Yeah.
Actually, I think a lot of people that are very creative and stuff, you really can think well in the shower. The answer comes. I actually know people that have whiteboards in the shower where they write down ideas. I'm not like that.
I love that. I can see that. I mean, just, man.
Yeah. So sometimes I just have to step away. It's just like I got to let my brain kind of get out of whatever I was focused on. But I think one of the things is how you look at something that didn't quite work out the way you thought.
Yeah.
And if you can look at that as, okay, it's not really a failure. It's just maybe I didn't quite go the right direction. So
hit the reset button and try something different.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I know what I do, because I tried a lot. So you only get better if you.
If I keep doing it and messing up and doing it again, right?
Well, another thing I tell people is, if you're kind of struggling and then you figure out how to fix what you're struggling with, you do not forget that. So.
And
Well,
so
I did not forget.
Because you just said something, Janet. For those of you out there that are struggling and you just don't think you're going to get there, remember what she just said. Get to the end result, man, and everything else will be worth it. You won't even be thinking about what the struggle was.
Mhm.
Right?
And then when you get there, you look back and you think, you know what? That actually wasn't that bad. I kind of learned something from it, you know?
Oh boy, it's really about looking and recognizing the journey, isn't it?
Yes. Yes. Mhm.
Oh,
I agree. Yeah.
and your journey, so you're doing these magnificent things. You started out in the word. What do you see now with AI or IA, artificial intelligence?
Yeah.
See your face light up. So
I love it. It's really fun. It's interesting because when Chat GPT came out, suddenly you hear all these like, oh, it's so terrible, all this negative stuff. And it's like, no, it's how you use the tool. If you use it proper, it's a tool, you
yeah,
know. I happen to be a big Jasper fan. So Jasper's in my opinion, a little ahead of right now Chat GPT. It's
okay.
easier to use, but it's a tool. So and you're not going to be I mean, you shouldn't be copying anything that
Yeah.
they give you, and you've got to double check because I think I shared with you earlier. I had to do a bio for you, and I thought,
Yeah.
well, maybe it can make my bio sound a little bit better. So I took my bio, I put it into Jasper on this one, I think, and it came up with some nice things that I did like. But then it also said that I had 4 grandchildren. We don't have any children. So you got to double check.
Yeah. And Janet, for the audience that doesn't know what we're talking about, can you kind of Jasper and
Okay.
What is that exactly?
So there's several platforms out there. The 2 that I'm using, but there's a lot more, and they're all based off of artificial intelligence that is a big database that has gone through and kind of like got a lot of information from the internet. And I think it was from like 2019 earlier, and I think they're updating it to 2021. I could be off a little bit on that, but so Chat GPT has made the news big time lately. And Microsoft actually invested, I think it's like $10 billion into it. So I'm excited because they're going to be incorporating that into like PowerPoint and Word and probably Excel. So that'll be fun. And some of their other products. And then Jasper.ai is one that I've been using for a while. And they have simple little different types of things. So if you wanted to have a headline for an ad or something, they actually have it generated for Google or for Facebook. Or if you wanted to write a blog about a topic and you kind of wanted to know what are the pain points, what's the agitation things, what's the solution, you can put that in and it will give you ideas. Then you need to double check that's correct. That's really important. So you still have to do your research. And 2, you should make it your voice, because especially if you're working with people that know you. For example, I have an editor that's worked with me for off and on for 30 years. And somebody edited one of our training guides, one of my other employees. And my editor looked at it and she said, Janet, you didn't write this. And I looked at it and I'm like, you're right. I didn't write this. It is not the way I talk. It's not the way I write. So people can recognize that. So you use this as a tool. So instead of staring at a blank piece of paper going, what the heck am I going to write? It can get you thinking. So does that kind of answer your question?
No, that's great. Yeah, and I like how you just close it up. It's a tool that stimulates thinking and gets you back to what you're talking about. On something and finishing something.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking while you were talking, boy, maybe as we progress, we'll do a little quick version on how to use those 2 platforms. It's like a quick 15-minute something.
Yeah. I'm actually studying some things now, so I'm real excited about it.
Yeah.
Can you tell? That's the geek side in me coming out. I love it.
And if she's excited, you better get ready, because there's going to be some things that we don't use, right?
It's definitely changing things, but it's not bad. I mean, we've had so many tools that have come up, that have just made it easier for us to be more efficient. But It's just a tool. So those YouTube videos where they're telling you how terrible it is, don't believe it.
Yeah.
I mean, just like anything, you can use it for bad stuff, but use it for good stuff, and it's going to be very positive. So
I believe it'll do the same. And technology is always changing. The world's always changing, right?
mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
we cannot continue to prepare ourselves for a world that no longer exists.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And so.
Well, and the AI right now, I can't wait to see it in PowerPoint, because AI can now draw images and paint for you, and it's unique. So
yeah,
I don't quite understand how it does it, but it's pretty cool.
Well, I mean, it's only going to get more efficient, more friendly, user friendly, and like you are going to be able to help millions of people understand the benefits of this. So, so tell us. I know you got a couple businesses going on. As we kind of wind down, tell us a little, about your businesses and how people can get a hold of you.
Oh, sure. Yeah. So virtual instructor. So it's Janet at virtualinstructor.com. You can email me. But there we primarily right now are doing customized training for businesses. So we actually go into a business. It's virtual. So we train a lot of people back east. I'm in San Diego. So we go in and take a look at what they're doing and see how we can streamline it, or make sure everybody in the department or the company are on the same page. So they're all kind of the same level, and then they can start growing and, using those tools. The other thing that I am really excited about is I am a member of ClickFunnels, and I'm in their certified funnel building program. So I'm becoming a certified funnel builder for ClickFunnels Classic, which is the older one, and the new ClickFunnels 2.0, which is going to blow everything out of the water. It's really cool. So,
so when you say ClickFunnels, for those that may not, I mean, everybody should. What does that really do?
It's another platform, and it lets you create marketing funnels, and they could be ones where you're trying to you just want to trade something for somebody's name and email address, so you could then market to them, or you're selling something. So Russell Brunson and Todd Dickerson are the owners. Russell's a marketer. He's brilliant. If you don't know him, Google Russell Brunson, phenomenal. So it makes it super easy to build these. They're really just little web pages, but makes it really easy to build them. The thing is, how you structure those pages with how are you going to get somebody's attention, the hook. What kind of story are you going to keep them there with? What's your offer? How's your offer different than everybody else who offers, what you're doing? So that's the real trick. But ClickFunnels is just a phenomenal platform. So it just makes it really easy to create these. And then ClickFunnels 2.0 is also making it so you can actually create marketing hubs. So your website could be a marketing site, not just information where you hope they go click at the right pages. So. Yeah.
Right. So you business owners out there that are like I was 3 years ago and not really understanding the power of technology and tools such as this in terms of marketing, make sure you get her information down, right? Because I don't know. I think you just mentioned too that aren't you part of a selected few that are out sharing or working on the funneling new 2.0?
Yeah, 2.0 is still in beta, but so I am in their funnel building program. I'm also in another program with them, but it's great. And I get access to amazing coaches learning, they're still building all these great tools. So I'm kind of on the forefront of that and loving it.
Well, in other words, she's right in the hunt of what's happening.
That's right.
You're not paying attention, right? And like she said, look up Russell Brunson. I mean, the godfather of funnels. If you're not paying attention to the connection here, you're missing out.
Right? He's amazing. Yeah.
He's amazing, and she's connected to amazing, and she's amazing. So the benefit of the relationship, folks, is something, and you can see she's got her information out there. take advantage of it. When you hear this later, make sure you drop some love in the chat. And then, what is it that you'd like to kind of close us up with in terms of something that you'd like the folks to take advantage of that you have for them?
Well, I did create a very quick funnel. In fact, when we were talking about the overcoming things,
Yeah.
I started something. Of course, I waited the last minute and I had to make a quick veer. So, but I do have something, and I think I'll see if I can rename myself and then put in this.
Okay.
Make it easy for you. Okay.
All
So
right.
if you go over to this link, you'll go to a marketing funnel. It'll ask you for your name and your email address. But if you're a Mac person and you're using Excel or Word, it acts a little bit different than if you're a PC person. So if you go over here, I have a Mac library, video quick tip library that has some Excel and Power and Word videos for you. And if you're a PC person, you can go to the PC library that has that has the Excel and Word videos. I think I might have messed that up. So Excel and Word, too much talking, huh? So it's Excel and Word for PC people and for Mac people. But for Mac people, you go on the internet, you go look up things for Mac. There isn't a lot for you, and things just work a little differently. So if you are interested in that, you can go in and you just have to sign up because you'll get sent a link to go log into an area where the videos are. So if you like that, and it's all about helping you to reclaim your valuable time. So these are all tips that will help you. Probably they're anywhere between a minute to 3 or 4 minutes long. And they will show you how to do things that probably a lot of times take you a lot longer. So
wow.
It's my little gift to you all.
I would encourage everybody to make sure you get that information and try and test her out, and take her up on what she's offering, right? So Janet, listen, man, time flies. It's already been, it's time to wind this thing down. But I want to thank you again for sharing your time with our audience, sharing your just that beautiful smile that lights up the place and all your knowledge today.
Well, it's been a pleasure, and always a pleasure talking with you.
You also. So any parting words you have at all before we say goodbye?
No, just I hope you all are able to use some of the software tools to your advantage and free yourself up to go have fun doing other things and just sitting at the computer.
Like early Valentine's dinner or something, right?
Yeah, that would be nice.
Do right away and do it now. So Janet, listen, I want to say thank you again for your time and information. I mean, it's always, like you said, beautiful just to chat it up and have some conversation. Yeah. And I know for sure that those of you that hear this later and are here now, make sure you drop some love in here for Janet. And if you don't have any luck getting a hold of her, make sure you reach out to us so we can make that connection for you. So Janet, listen, appreciate you as always. Great information. And you have a good Valentine's.
Thank you. You too.
All right. We'll see you later. Thank you.
Bye.
Well, man, listen, hey, I want to thank everybody for hanging out with us today. And for those of you that were catching the replay, make sure you drop a note in the chat where you're coming from and what value you receive from this information. And make sure you take advantage of what she's offering, because it's helped me in a couple different things already. And if you really want to get some real insight on IA and what's happening with Jasper and chat, you really want to stay close to us, right? Because she is on top of that stuff for real. So as I wrap up, for those of you, again, we really appreciate your support. You new folks, make sure you let us know where you're from. And if you have any thoughts or questions about what we're here for and how we can help you, please let us know. And as a real estate person, you're still looking for some help, I really encourage you to join our Facebook group, Build Your Flipping Business. We got some really cool things we're getting ready to start to unroll for 2023. And lastly, make sure you're tagging your friends, you're sharing this, and you're subscribing to this channel and be a part of the community that believes in doing one thing, and that's working with people to make sure that you understand the power of changing your thoughts and change your life. We believe that that can help make a difference in your life. We believe that there's no better time for you than to join our community. And we believe that, yes, you too can discover your greatness in your life. So check out the information in the chats. All my information is in the link. And I really appreciate all the support we had today. I'm going to go rest my voice, and we'll see you on another Conversations with Geoff. We appreciate you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.